Hey everyone, so this is the pullback. It's just a little cart by a window. Except in this case, the window is actually a flex, which is placed on the windowsill right in the window frame. Hey everybody, so today I'm going to show you how we're going to make Thanksgiving lasagna. And I am going to be using this pretty pan. I really like to use Polish pottery. That way when I bring it to Thanksgiving at my mother-in-law's, I will know which pan is mine. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients for this vegan lasagna. It's a pretty good choice, I think, if you have people coming who are vegetarian or vegan and you don't know what to feed them. This would be a great option. All right, so the ingredients that we're going to be using are lasagna noodles. You can absolutely use gluten-free if you want. What I've done here is sauteed up a 16-ounce package of Frenched green beans with about 1.5 cups of walnuts that I chopped in the food processor, a little bit of coconut oil, some onion powder, some garlic powder. And this is just the way I love to eat green beans in general, so I just did a big cast iron pan worth. Then we have 4 very large sweet potatoes, which I cooked in the Instant Pot for 14 minutes. That's longer than I usually do. I wanted them to be very super soft. And then I added about 1/2 cup of plant milk. In this case I use soy, but you could use cashew or almond or whatever, to mush it up and make it very spreadable. That's the important part, is that you can spread it easily. Then I have some French fried onions. You could use gluten-free. I'm just using whatever they had at Costco. They're vegan, they're just onions and a little bit of wheat flour. It costs more for the gluten-free version, but that is available. And then I have some fake cheese. This is Go Veg, I think. It's just a fake mozzarella sort of cheese. And finally, I just have some marinara sauce, which again is from Costco, pre-made. This is going to be the base. It's going to keep everything nice and it's going to keep it from getting crusty. All right, so the first thing I want to do, I'm going to give this a shake because it's a little bit separated. I am going to pour, whoops, it's making a big mess. I'm going to pour some in the bottom. And this is mostly just to keep everything wet. You don't want the noodles to dry out when you're baking. And then I'm going to lay the lasagna noodles. I pre-cooked these in the microwave with the Fasta pasta. Okay, and so the first thing I'm going to do is add a layer of sweet potatoes. And this is a little bit futzy. It might take a couple minutes to get it spread. Each bit is going to be a layer that is repeated twice, just 2 times, not 3. And we're just kind of playing it by ear here because this is a smaller pan than I usually use. It's not quite 13 by 9. Usually a 13 by 9 has some out here. So I'm going to give this a go. Spread it nice and thin. Now I didn't add any flavoring to the sweet potatoes. I didn't put any, you could put spinach in here. You could flavor it with butter or vegan butter, whatever turns your fancy. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is add a layer of our green beans. It's easier if I go like this. This is kind of all the flavors. If you're like my husband and you don't like your food to touch, you may not like this. My husband's kind of funny that way. Okay. Get that all spread in there. And then I'm going to do some fake cheese. You can use real cheese, of course, but I can't eat dairy. Haven't been able to eat it for going on 10 years now. So this is my substitute. And then some French fried onions. A little bit of crispiness. And I'm just going to do a 2-layer in this pan because it is thinner. And go like this. I can probably squish part of one in here, although I think I'm just going to spread it out like that. Add some sweet potatoes. And you're going to want to cover it. If you do it in a smaller pan like this, you're going to want to cover it with tin foil to make sure that it doesn't seep over the edges. And you're going to also want to put something underneath it in your oven in case it overflows. The 4 sweet potatoes pretty much use up this 2 layers here. You can always make more. Straight onion. Okay. Green beans. Rest of the green beans. I'm going to kind of squish it down. You don't need much of the tomato sauce. It's mostly just to add a little bit of extra moisture because I don't have any liquid. But as long as you cover up the noodles, they should not dry out. But if you find that you have a bigger pan and that you need to cover up the noodles with anything, that's what the tomato sauce is for. That extra liquid. Oops, we'll do the cheese here. Add that to it. Give it a good spread and then top with the French fried onions. Oops, I'm making a disaster here, but you get the idea. Now, you want to cover this up when you bake it, like I said, and make sure you put something underneath it if you're like me and way overfilled the pan. Some of the liquid might bubble out, but then you want to take the cover off for the last 10 to 15 minutes just to make sure that it gets nice and browned on the top. So we're going to do this for 350 for an hour, and I will be right back.